This podcast is being brought to you by GigEssentials.com. GigEssentials.com is a website designed for gig economy employees so that they can learn tricks, tips, and hacks to make the gig economy work for them. On this page, you'll see articles written by our staff writers. You will also find links to our YouTube channel, as well as ways that you can benefit your business, access to our podcast feeds, as well as our Patreon to support our work. That's GigEssentials.com. What's up, guys? This is Corey, also known as QC Rideshare, just hitting you with another one. And I wanted to do this episode on planning for the future. There's a lot of talk, I believe, about what the gig economy is going to look like 5 years, 10 years from now. And most of the time when you're doing the gig economy, you may be doing it as a side hustle. You may be doing it as your main source of income. But I think it's always important to plan for the future, both economically, but just setting yourself up, because I don't think anybody sees themselves working full blast, putting in a whole bunch of hours 10, 15, 20 years from now. I think everybody kind of has the same idea when it comes to the gig economy, allowing these platforms or allowing the work that we do on these platforms to evolve into something else. Now, that's not to say that anybody who looks at this line of work to do in the next 10, 15, 20 years is wrong, but I just think that it's always good to have a plan for the future. So I'm going to, I've wrote actually a blog about this on GigEssentials.com, so definitely check out that article. Kind of goes into a little more details than what I want to go here. But I talk about some of the things that you should look forward to when it comes to the gig economy. What I mean, what things to look forward to, it's going to grow, it's going to evolve, but how to make sure that you're set up for the future. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that. Now, obviously, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. So any kind of time I'm talking about financials or anything like that, take it with a grain of salt. But I think one thing that a lot of people in the gig economy feel is that because I don't work for a company that has a traditional 401k or retirement account, that I can't save for the future. And it's that's completely wrong. It's something where you can definitely save for the future. You can actually set yourself up a lot like how any company would set you up, but you can do it on your own. Now, many of you might already know, but these things are called individual retirement accounts. These are retirement accounts that is not like some kind of somebody's brainchild. These are distributed by financial institutions. They're regulated by the government, so they're not something that's fly by night. IRAs have been around for many years, and they are actually, once you leave an employer, that's what you would traditionally convert your 401k to, is an IRA account. And IRA stands for individual retirement account. Now, there's different types of IRAs, and you definitely want to speak to a professional to find out which one would best suit you. Now, some of the things that I've done is I like a website called The Motley Fool. I know it sounds like a funny name, but they're actually very good when teaching you about different financial instruments, ways of thinking about your finances and kind of thinking differently. If you go to the article on GigEssentials.com, I did put the link to their IRA tutorial in that article. But if you just want to go to their website is fool.com. Which is also a very interesting website. But it's actually a really good site and actually gives you a lot of information. The Motley Fool is one of the most respected financial websites and companies in the country, maybe even in the world. I've learned so much about them. They actually have a number of podcasts that will help you as well. And they are very upfront about their belief system when it comes to how you should set yourself up for retirement. And they give you the full truth and the nuts and bolts of everything. So I think that's one way that I believe that um, you can kind of set yourself up to plan for the future. Another way is to maintain some form of health care. And healthcare nowadays is really getting hard to not only maintain but to understand where you need to be, what things it's just it's a mess between healthcare.gov and then some of the rollbacks with healthcare.gov and then obviously other options that you may have. It can really get confusing very quickly. I know my background, I worked in insurance for many years, and I know with healthcare, I mean, I would say that in most situations, your best options are going to be if you have a spouse or significant other that has health benefits that you can join onto. It's probably going to be the cheapest and best option for you. Then maybe healthcare.gov, and then finally maybe an individual plan. However, your mileage may vary because obviously, if your spouse doesn't have or significant other doesn't have good coverage, then um, healthcare.gov might be your best option for you. So you definitely um, want to really look into how that's going to work for you. Now, a lot of times you can speak with an well, insurance is tricky because most insurance agents have, their jobs are to sell insurance policies. Um, you can speak with a financial advisor. I would say with this, you may have to just do some research because you know your health, you know how much you're probably going to use the benefit, and healthcare.gov obviously has a lot of options open to you if your only situation would be the healthcare.gov avenue. Finally, and I think this one could have been number one for me, but it's one of those things where I believe so strong in this, and that is to stay out of debt. During the gig economy and during these jobs where you work hard one week, get paid next week, and you always have the mentality of, I can, if I'm short this week, I can just hustle up and I can make money this week. You got options where you can take the payout right away, all kinds of stuff, and um, it can get addictive. It can become something where it prevents you from planning for the future because you're always chasing the next thing. Your car is doing good, but you know what? I could probably make more money if I got a new car, or I need to do this remodel. It's very difficult to it's very difficult to plan for the future when you are accumulating debt. Now, obviously, that goes hand in hand with my strong belief in budgeting and making sure that you are financially disciplined. But even more so, to it is necessary to make sure that you are staying out of debt because as a business owner, you want to make sure that your operations are lean and that your business is referred to it as cash flow positive, where you're making money and there is a positive balance each pay cycle. So if you're sitting back and you're calculating that, you know what, there's more going out than going in, that can only last so long. So definitely make sure that you are budgeting properly, and because obviously overspending is very easy. So that's all I really have for you guys this week is those three things. The full article is on gigessentials.com. Obviously, that's somewhere where you can find all the information to all of our platforms. Until the next one, peace. This podcast is being brought to you by gigessentials.com. GigEssentials.com is a website designed for gig economy employees so that they can learn tricks, tips, and hacks to make the gig economy work for them. On this page, you'll see articles written by our staff writers. You will also find links to our YouTube channel, as well as ways that you can benefit your business, access to our podcast feeds, as well as our Patreon to support our work. That's GigEssentials.com.